So the article that I kind of chose to focus on is called Changing How We Think About Healthcare Improvement. And it was a longer article that I looked at compared to the other ones I've done. But basically, I thought it was really interesting because I'm going into healthcare administration. And this was kind of talking about how, like, complex it is to put change into motion and, like, why it is so hard within healthcare to, like, add these changes. And it really kind of focused on how broad healthcare is and everything that goes into it. There's systems, staff, patient, like, there's so much that goes into healthcare that's way more complex and way more I don't want to say important, there's a lot of important things, but patient safety, patient health, we are helping who's in the world today, and how healthcare affects day to day and how that affects the world, communities, populations as a whole. So it kind of went over like why systems change, what can reject, or like how it can be rejected and how not everything can go through, and just like how to start change and how you have to understand parts as well as changing mindsets. It's really hard to try to have a positive outlook when you're struggling to make changes within healthcare, since there's so much. But basically, like, it is a constantly changing and growing community that everyone has to be in the mindset for change. And we have to know that it's going to be a difficult transition, and just, it's all about the patient. But I thought it was really interesting. Honestly, I feel like it's beneficial for everyone to read. Obviously, healthcare professionals, staff, nurses, anyone more involved like that, because it kind of does help to shift your mindset to, okay, like, this is why we're changing and this is what is getting put into it. But for me, like, this is what I'm studying, this is what I'm in school for, so it was just kind of like a nice reminder of how important it is and everything that plays into it. And I don't know, I feel like for me it's interesting to, like, look at how long things take to change and how big changes do affect things in the long term. Like, I like looking back and being like, oh, well, just like one of the articles I looked at was like electronic like e-health, and I think that's really interesting because thinking about where we're going to be in, like, even 10 years from now, 5 years, how much that's going to shift healthcare and how we need to be open to the change, because it does open a lot of positives and a lot is going to be very beneficial in the future. But I feel like right now we're kind of in the midst of still exploring everything we can do with that. And I don't know, that's not really a lingering question, but that's kind of like, I think obviously that is a whole nother topic by itself, but I think that's interesting looking at, like, okay, you can change this machine, this machine, this machine, but, like, how does that affect specifics, I guess.